You were not born to stay the same. You were born to grow into the strongest version of yourself. Most people live trapped by their own doubt, not because they aren't capable, but because they've stopped believing that more is possible. The truth is, your potential isn't lost. It's buried beneath habits, excuses, and fear. Unlocking your full potential doesn't require perfection. It only requires the courage to begin again, even when no one is watching. You don't need to wait for the right time. You need to choose that this is the time. Today, we're going to break down what it really takes to rise above average, break your own limits, and step into the person you were always meant to be. This is your reminder that nothing is fixed, and everything can change if you decide to show up fully. If you're ready to take control, push harder, and finally unlock your full potential, then let's dive in. Number 1, set clear, specific goals for daily progress. Most people wake up tired, hit snooze 3 times, and drag themselves into a day they haven't prepared for. That's the truth. No plan, no direction, just movement. And that's the problem. You see, motion isn't the same as progress. You can move all day and still not go anywhere. That's why so many feel stuck, because they are. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack talent, but because they haven't taken the time to sit down and say, here's what I want, here's exactly what I'm working toward. You can't hit a target you haven't set. And until you become specific with your goals, you'll continue spinning your wheels, going in circles, wondering why nothing changes. When I say set clear, specific goals for daily progress, I don't mean some vague idea like, I want to be successful or I want to be in shape. That's not a goal, that's a wish. You've got to know exactly what success looks like. You've got to be able to point at it and say, there it is. If your goal is to get in shape, how much do you want to weigh? How many push-ups should you be doing? If you want to start a business, what kind? What will you sell? How much do you want to earn by the end of the month? These details matter. They give you direction. They give you purpose, and purpose wakes you up in the morning with energy. You need goals that mean something to you, not goals other people told you to chase. You've got to feel it deep in your chest. Because when your goals come from the heart, discipline follows more naturally. You won't have to force yourself to get to work. You'll want to. Every day you wake up and you know what you're aiming for, life gets more focused. You don't waste time. You don't guess. You work with intention. But setting goals isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. You need to decide every morning what matters most today. What will move the needle forward right now? Maybe it's finishing that chapter you started writing. Maybe it's finally calling that client. Maybe it's hitting the gym for 45 minutes, no excuses. Whatever it is, write it down. Every single morning, write down your top 3 goals for the day. Not 15 things. 3. That's all. Get specific. Make them realistic, but push yourself just a bit. When you write down your goals, something happens in the mind. You start filtering the world differently. Your attention sharpens. You begin to notice opportunities you used to miss. You don't scroll endlessly anymore because you know you've got something you promised yourself you would finish. You hold yourself to a higher standard, not because someone's watching, but because you said you would. That internal integrity, that's where the real power lives. And don't get discouraged if things take time. A goal isn't a shortcut, it's a path. And paths take steps. Some days you'll sprint. Other days you'll crawl. But as long as you're moving forward, you're doing it right. The key is daily progress. You don't have to climb the whole mountain in a day. Just take the next step. Just do what you said you would do today. Keep the promise. That's how confidence grows. That's how success builds, one finished task at a time. You also need to review your goals at night. Sit down with yourself before the day ends and ask, did I do what I said I would do? If the answer is yes, that's momentum. If the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Learn from it. What got in the way? Were you distracted? Did you try to do too much? Did you forget why it mattered? Adjust and be better tomorrow. That kind of honesty with yourself creates strength. Most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because they don't know what they're working toward. And even those who set goals often stop halfway through the week. But when you treat goal setting like breathing something you do every day, not just when it's convenient, things begin to shift. Clarity becomes your edge. You wake up and know exactly what needs to happen. You don't leave it to chance. If your life feels messy right now, overwhelmed, scattered, that's usually a sign you're unclear about your direction. Clarity brings peace. Clarity brings power. If you don't control your day will control you. And that's where burnout comes from. Not from working hard, but from working aimlessly. You need a target. You need something to measure. You need to be able to say, here's what I set out to do, and here's what I did. A goal-driven life is a fulfilling life. Not just because you'll achieve more, but because you'll feel in control. You'll stop drifting. You'll stop reacting. You'll start building. You'll start growing. And that's what we all want, to feel like we're becoming someone better than we were yesterday. But you can't become better on accident. It has to be on purpose. You've got to decide who you want to be, and then set goals that make you become that person little by little, one day at a time. Don't underestimate the power of daily goals. They seem small. They seem ordinary, but stacked over time, they change everything. A single decision made every morning. What will I do today that moves me closer can shape your future. That's not exaggeration. That's just how growth works. You're either moving forward or you're standing still. And no one drifts into greatness. So every day, set your intention. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Hold yourself to it. If you hit your goal, celebrate it. If you miss it, learn from it. But never let a day pass without aiming for something. Progress isn't found, it's created. You create it by deciding what matters and going after it with all you've got. And that decision, the decision to live intentionally, is where unlocking your full potential really begins. Number 2, build a consistent morning routine for success. Most people wake up rushed, stressed, and already behind. They scroll their phones before they even sit up. They check emails, dive into social media, or hit snooze until there's barely time to shower. They leave the house half-prepared, scattered, and reactive. And then they wonder why the rest of the day feels chaotic, unproductive, and empty. The reason is simple. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If your morning is sloppy, your day will be too. If your morning is intentional, clear, and focused, your entire life will begin to shift. You don't need to have a perfect life to build a powerful morning. But you do need to make a decision. A decision that you're no longer going to leave your mindset, your focus, or your energy to chance. You're going to take control of it before the world has a chance to pull it away from you. A consistent morning routine is not just about being productive. It's about grounding yourself in your values. It's about choosing to start the day with strength instead of stress, with clarity instead of confusion. This isn't about copying someone else's 5 a.m. schedule or trying to cram in 20 habits before breakfast. It's about creating a rhythm that works for you, one that you can stick to, one that builds you up, not burns you out. It might mean waking up just 30 minutes earlier than usual. Not to rush more, but to pause, to breathe, to think. That quiet time is where your mind has space to prepare. That's where you plant the seeds of the day ahead. The first thing you do when you wake up matters. If the first thing you touch is your phone, then you've handed your focus to someone else. If the first thing you do is compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, you've already stolen your energy. But if the first thing you do is sit in stillness, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what matters most today? Now you've stepped into ownership. That shift alone can change how you carry yourself all day long. Start small. A powerful morning doesn't need to be complicated. Begin with water. Your body is dehydrated after sleep. Hydrating first thing clears your mind and kickstarts your system. Then move your body. It doesn't need to be an intense workout. A short walk, a few stretches, anything that wakes up your physical energy and connects your mind to motion. This simple act reminds you that you are in control of your actions from the very start. Then take 5 or 10 minutes to think. Not scroll, not rush. Think. Write down your priorities for the day. Think about what kind of person you want to be today. Calm, focused, determined. Reflect on what you're grateful for, not to be polite, but because gratitude sharpens your perspective. When you see the good in your life first, it's easier to respond to stress later. This isn't fluff. It's mental preparation. Just like an athlete warms up before a game, you're warming up your focus before stepping into the world. Now here's something most people ignore. Eliminate noise in your morning. Silence isn't boring. Silence is clarity. You don't need the TV blaring, the notifications going off, or the world shouting at you before your brain even wakes up. That noise becomes your thinking. And if your morning is filled with chaos, then your decisions will reflect that. Protect the first hour of your day like it's sacred, because it is. That first hour holds the power to change your attitude, your choices, your outcomes. You're not building a routine to impress anyone. You're doing it to take back your time, your attention, and your mind. Success is never just about what you do. It's about how you think while you're doing it. If you're reactive, distracted, and scattered, then even your best actions won't produce results. But when you step into your day with purpose, you move different. You speak different. People feel that in you. Most people let their mornings slip by. They wake up tired and give their energy away before they've even had time to center themselves. And over time, that compounds into stress, into regret, into feeling lost. But when you commit to a consistent morning routine, you're telling yourself that your life matters enough to be lived intentionally. That you're not just surviving the day, you're building your future with how you begin each one. And don't think consistency means perfection. You will have days where you sleep in. You will miss steps. That's okay. What matters is getting back on track the next day. Your power doesn't come from doing it flawlessly. It comes from doing it repeatedly. The discipline of showing up for yourself each morning, even if it's only for 15 minutes, is where the real change begins. One of the most powerful parts of a morning routine is self-trust. When you say, "I'll get up and do this," and then you follow through, something shifts inside. You start believing in yourself a little more. You start proving to yourself that you can do hard things.